Hey, Shalom, Israel, Brother Reggie Jr. here. So today, guys, we're going to take a look at Numbers chapter 16. I'm just picking up where I left off from last time. Now, if you didn't get a chance to look at the previous lesson that I did, Numbers chapter 15, I'm going to go ahead and catch you up to speed so that way you know where we are in Numbers 16. So basically, the Lord through Moses told the children of Israel, listen, when I bring you into the land that I promised your fathers that I was going to bring you into, whenever you bring an offering to me, I'm going to need you to bring an additional offering. And the reason why he had them do that is because he was trying to show the children of Israel how to show gratitude and how to show their thanks toward him. Okay. And then from there, the Lord began addressing the children of Israel about what should be done if a man sinned through ignorance and it be hid from the congregation. And he also showed the children of Israel what should be done if a man sinned presumptuously. He sinned willingly. He was in the knowledge of what he was doing. Okay. And then shortly after that, the Lord showed us an example of a man that had sinned presumptuously. Okay, this man was gathering sticks on the Sabbath day, and obviously that is very hard work because it ain't like the man just went out and all of these sticks are in one place. No, you might have to do some pulling down, you might have to do some cutting. And so this man, he was gathering sticks because he was planning on doing something, but in doing all of these things, he was transgressing the Sabbath day. He was working. And the Lord in Exodus, he told us, he said, you shall do no servile work. Where they were doing servile, this man was doing servile work. So you had some brothers and sisters, they seen him, they called him, and they took him to Moses and Aaron. Okay, and Moses and Aaron put him in the ward because they didn't know what to do with this man. And so Moses consulted the Lord while this man was in holding. He said, Lord, what should we do with this man? Because basically we find him transgressing the Sabbath. Where the Lord just told Moses straight up, put him to death. And the reason why he did that is because he wanted to make an example out of this man. Because this was the Lord's way of putting the evil away. See, Israel gonna see what happened to this man. When all Israel see this, they're going to fear. I better not transgress the Sabbath because I don't want to end up like this man. Okay, and then after that, the Lord, he told basically Israel to make fringes and put them on the border of their garments. So that way they would always be reminded of the commandments. Why? Because when it comes to being obedient to the Lord, Israel has a very short memory, literally. And so they were supposed to look upon these fringes and say, okay, I better make sure I'm being obedient to the Lord. That's something that he did with our ancestors because they had short-term memory. They were so quickly to forget the ways of the Lord. So he had them do that to always keep them in remembrance. But that was the end of that. And now we are now in Numbers chapter 16, guys. And I'm going to go ahead and get started. Numbers chapter 16 and verse 1. And it says, now Korah, the son of Izhar, the son of Kohath, the son of Levi. So now because this is the infamous chapter with Korah and his rebellion. So we see that Korah is a Levite. And then it says, and Dathan and Abiram, these are the two other rebels. Dathan and Abiram, it says, the sons of Eliab and On, the son of Peleth, sons of Reuben. Okay, so Korah was a Levite. Dathan and Abiram, they were Reubenites. Okay, and it says these three took men and they rose up before Moses. And I want you to underline that, rose up. It says they rose up before Moses with certain of the children of Israel, 250 princes of the assembly, famous in the congregation, men of renown. And they gathered themselves together against who? Moses, and against Aaron, and said, ye take too much upon you, seeing all the congregation are holy, every one of them, and the Lord is among them. Wherefore then lift ye up yourself above the congregation of the Lord. And we're going to deal with this, but first I want to address this verse 2 when it says they rose up. See, Korah and Abiram and Korah and Dathan and Abiram, they didn't just come out of nowhere. No, they had evil in their heart this whole time that they were being led by Moses and Aaron. Had evil in their heart the whole time. And what was that evil? That evil was envy. Because, brothers and sisters, that's what Jesus was saying. Before you commit an act, it takes place in your mind. So this whole time that they were being led, this was what was in the mind of Korah, Dathan, and Abiram. We got to get up and we got to come against Moses and Aaron. But brothers and sisters, it's a reason why they're doing this. And this is something that I don't really like about the children of Israel. Instead of them confessing what the problem really is, they will move mountains. They will defy reality. They will have all kind of red herrings in place. And they will even say stuff like this. They will say, you take too much upon you, seeing all the congregation of holy. You trying to put yourself above everybody instead of just saying, hey, I'm envious that you get to lead. You and Aaron, I'm just envious, Moses, that you and Aaron get to lead the children of Israel. Everybody taking orders from you. Everybody's under your kneecaps. And instead of just confessing that, they'll move mountains. They'll make you think it's all of this stuff over here, but the real problem is this. That's these Negroes we dealing with. And these same brothers and sisters are still here to this day. They are just like their fathers. They just like Korah, Dathan, and Abiram. Same spirit that was on them is on some of these brothers and sisters today, full of envy. Okay? Now notice, they didn't just raise up by themselves. They had to get people on their side. And they didn't just want any old anybody. They got 250 princes of the assembly. It said they were famous in the congregation, men of renown, because see, what they wicked behind was hoping was that, see, if we get these 250 on our side, see, the people, all of the people, they'll begin to follow us. They will begin to take our side. And if they all begin to take our side, then we can oust Moses and Aaron. And then ultimately Korah, because really this was all Korah's plan, being a Levite, then I could be the one leading the children of Israel, because that's what this whole thing was about, brothers and sisters. Korah, and I'm saying Korah, even though it's Dathan and Abiram, Korah's the ring leader. Okay, he was the Levite. Dathan and Abiram, they was just Reuben. The course they was in on it too. They got their own, they probably had their own motives, but Korah, I know he wanted to lead the children of Israel, so he was full of envy. Why do these two men get to rule? Because essentially they were kings, Moses and Aaron, essentially. Everything but in name. How come they get to rule the children of Israel while I got to sit back and take orders? They not special. I'm special too. And I'm going to just let y'all know, we got brothers and sisters, especially the brothers. We got some of them in Israel's church. They do us the same way. Who y'all think y'all is? This Negro think he the only one righteous. This nigga think he this. This nigga think he that. Because he full of envy. Listen, no man or woman gets to choose. They don't get to choose what capacity the Lord decide to use them in. Because listen, as I can recall, Moses was ducking his role. Moses didn't want to lead the children of Israel. He knew the children of Israel. But the Lord told him, listen, you ain't got no choice. And on top of you not having no choice, I'm going to make Aaron your spokesman. They didn't choose that. God chose that for them. So really, you're not mad at me, you mad at the Lord. Because hey, I don't get to choose the capacity in which the Lord used me. Some men and women, the Lord choose to use them to a higher capacity than others. But see, Korah was not content with what the Lord had given him and his tribe to do. He wasn't content. I want to be the one to rule this mother. That was Korah mindset. I don't want to take orders. I want to be the one leading the children of Israel. That's not fair that Moses and Aaron get to lead the children of Israel. So they gathered up these 250 men because after all, if you can get the people to rally around against you, you don't stand a chance. Unless the Lord on your side. Now the Lord on your side, it don't matter. You can get the whole world against you. God will defeat the entire world. But pretty much, if you can get the people on your side, then hey, they gonna oust you. And that's why Korah, that's why he got these 250 men. Okay, but let's keep reading verse 3. But it said, they gathered themselves against Moses and Aaron, and then here it go. They said, you take too much upon you, seeing all the congregation are holy, every one of them. Now, why did Korah just tell this lie? Korah, Dathan, and Abiram, they just told the biggest lie we have ever heard. Okay? Because the Lord, let's go there. This is what the Lord said about the congregation. Now, Korah said the congregation was holy. But let's see what the Lord said about the congregation. Numbers chapter 14 and verse 27. This is what the Lord said. How long shall I bear with this evil congregation? Who this nigga think he is? All of us, God with all of us, we righteous too. We holy too. We this, we that. But look at what the Lord said. How long shall I bear with this evil congregation? Wicked as hell. Even what Korah doing right now in his rebellion. Evil. Full of envy. But he don't see that as being evil though. I'm telling you, man, these Israelites, I don't know how Moses did it. And even Moses was like, man, Lord, I can't deal with all these people. This is too much. Too much. These people are insane. But let's go to real quick to Psalms 106. Because I told you, Korah and them full of envy. Let's see if I can find it. Psalms 106. All right. Backtrack a little bit. Psalms 109, 107. 107 still. Okay, Psalms 106. And I'm going to read verse 16 because here in Psalms, it tells us what Korah, Dathan, and Abiram, what their real problem was, especially Korah. It says, 16, they envy Moses also in the camp, and Aaron, the saint of the Lord. So we see why all of this rebellion was born, because of envy. And the Lord warned us about that envy. See, envy is one of the most dangerous things on this planet. That's the most dangerous spirit you can get caught up with. Because envy the hold it can have on a person is no damn joke. And let me show you what I mean. Proverbs chapter 27. You're going to see what I mean. Proverbs chapter 27 and verse 4. Let me show you why envy is so dangerous and why Jesus always warned against envy. Paul, the apostles, they always talked about envy. Proverbs 27 and verse 4, it says, wrath is cruel and anger is outrageous. But who is able to stand before envy? Let me show y'all what that verse mean right there. see wrath, as cruel as it is, as heinous. We done seen some wrathful people do some heinous stuff. But you know one thing about wrath? Eventually, it subsides. Person could be wrathful towards you, but eventually it'll be subside. It will subside. And you can also appease wrath. Okay? He said anger is outrageous. Anger, we done seen people do some angry stuff. We seen people operate in anger. But guess what? That anger will eventually subside. And that too, like wrath, it can be appeased. It says, but who is able to stand before envy? You know why envy is the most dangerous out of all of them? Because envy does not subside. Envy cannot be appeased. Envy will not depart until the person that's doing the envying is destroyed, or the person that has the person who's being envied against is destroyed. So if I got envy, it ain't until I'm destroyed or the other person I'm targeting is destroyed. So envy won't go away until you or the other person basically is destroyed. Envy will not be appeased. Envy does not subside. Envy will not go away until either you or the other person is destroyed. Look at Jesus. Either Jesus was going to go, or them ones, either Jesus was going to go, or those people that envy was going to go. And we seen what happened. They got Jesus out of here. They were so envious. Them Pharisees, those scribes, those Levites, they were so envious that they murdered the Messiah. Now we know Christ laid his life down, but let's just keep it real. They murdered him, full of envy. I can't stand this guy. We got to find a way to destroy him. And brothers and sisters, that's the danger of envy. So when a person is envious of you, look out. Look out. Because it ain't going to end until either they're destroyed or you're destroyed. So I hope that made sense. But now, let me get some of this water. Told y'all I've been trying to do a better job of getting this water in. But now, we're going to keep going. Back to number 16. And I'm going to read verse 4 through 11. And it says, and when Moses heard it, he fell upon his face. Because Moses like, oh, Lord, another thing, not something else. Here come Israel with more foolishness. And I feel Moses, because that's how it is, because Israel just cannot do right. Like I told you, Israel can have success and prosperity laid out for them on a silver platter, and they will find some way to sabotage it. That's the type of people we are. And we also see that this crab and barrel mentality existed long before slavery, long before we was carted off on them ships. That crab in the barrel mentality has always been here. If I can't prosper, if I can't be the one to lead, I'm going to tear my other brother and sister down that's prospering and doing some lead. I'm going to tear them down. If I can't do it, you won't be able to either. This is our people. So here you got Moses. He fell upon his face. Oh man, what is it now? That's basically his reaction. And he spake unto Korah and to all his company. So Moses is speaking really to Korah, because he know this is Korah's plot. He spake unto Korah and to all his company, saying, even tomorrow the Lord will shew who are his and who is holy, and will cause him to come near unto him. Even him whom he hath chosen will he cause to come near unto him. And brothers and sisters, that's why us at Israel's church, we got a lot of brothers and sisters envious of us, especially a lot of these brothers. Okay, they take shots at us. They do all kind of evil, a manner of evil towards us. But we don't say anything. You know why? Because when it's all said and done, the Lord going to show who he's with, basically. Is the Lord with Israel's church or with this fool over here that's saying all manner of evil because he or she is full of envy? It's literally that simple. So over here, we don't get all worked up and, oh Lord, what we gonna do? They talking and this is going on. We don't do any of that. We let the Lord choose. Hey, it's okay because the Lord gonna show it through the process of time who he's with. Is he with Israel's church or is he with this brother and sister that claim that the Lord ain't with us but with them? Hey, we ain't got to get all crazy and crying and up at night thinking. We let the Lord decide. Verse 6. This do, take you censers, Korah, and all his company, and put fire therein, and put incense in them before the Lord tomorrow. And it shall be that the man whom the Lord doeth choose, he shall be holy. Ye take too much upon you, ye sons of Levi. And Moses was basically telling them, you don't know what you doing and what you up against. Because see, these brothers here, these Levites specifically, they were just looking at a man. They were looking at Moses. They were looking at Aaron. But they could never see God in any of this. See, they thought, I'm just going against this man right here because I can't stand him. But what they didn't understand was the Lord was truly with Moses and Aaron. And that's where a lot of brothers and sisters are going to get messed up at. Because some of y'all are around here playing around with true men and women of God, thinking that they like every other nigga. This nigga here, he just like my teacher. This girl right here, she just like every other black girl out here. But what you don't realize is the Lord is actually with us. And that's where you're going to fail at. Because the Lord ain't with them and the Lord ain't. But on the off chance, what if the Lord is with that brother or with that sister? You are screwed. Israel never think about that. What if the Lord really is with this brother or with this sister who I say that the Lord isn't with? What if the Lord, on the off chance, is actually with them? I'm going to get my skull cracked. But see, Israel don't think that through because they're emotional people. They're run by emotion. All they see is this. They see the flesh man. They see the flesh woman. They can never see God in any of this. Why? Because they're carnal. Because Israel don't really believe in God. Like I said, Israel, they like the idea of God. But when it come down to it, they don't like God. They don't love God. They don't believe in God, but they love the idea of him. See, that's the difference. But, that's what Moses said. Hey, he said, look, you sons of Levi, hey, you take too much upon you. And Moses said unto Korah, hear, I pray you, ye sons of Levi. And I'm going to say this too. Now, I know this is Korah's plan. But all of them people he got, Dathan, Abiram, the 250 princes, you should feel ashamed that this man Korah thought you were weak, thought that you were weak enough and stupid enough to join his crusade. See, I know Brother Reggie Jr., he's stupid. He weak as hell. I know I can get him on my side to rebel against this righteous man or this righteous woman over here. Cause see, these Dathan, Abiram, 200, and these 250 men, they're actually the weakest link. They were the weakest link in the congregation. Weakest link. And you know why the Lord had them to join Korah's side anyway? Because he already knew what was in their hearts. He knew they was just as evil as Korah, and that they too was full of envy. So he allowed them to join Korah's side. But that should make you feel stupid and shame that the enemy thinks that you are weak enough and stupid enough to get over on you and be in your ear about another righteous man and another righteous woman. You should feel ashamed that that brother or that sister thought you was stupid enough to get you on their side. My goodness, man. But what can you say, brothers and sisters? When people got it on their mind to do stuff, hey, they gonna do it. It don't matter what you say or do. Okay, but we're gonna keep reading. Verse 8, and it says, and Moses said unto Korah, hear, I pray you, ye sons of Levi. He said, look, seemeth it but a small thing unto you that the God of Israel have separated you from the congregation of Israel to bring you near to himself to do the service of the tabernacle of the Lord and to stand before the congregation to minister unto them? Because the Lord did. He separated Levi out of all of the tribes. And they were to minister unto all the children of Israel. They were basically a tribe of princes and princesses to the rest of the children of Israel. The rest of the children of Israel, they looked up to the tribe of Levi. Not just to Moses and Aaron, but to the tribe of Levi in general. Nobody could get closer to the Lord than the tribe of Levi. And on top of that, the tribe of Levi got the best of everything. Because remember, their proportion was of the Lord. So let's say, these Israelites bought a big, gigantic bucket of gold and offered it to the Lord to tell them other Levites, okay, I got my portion. Y'all can have the rest of all of this massive amounts of gold. That was free for the taking of the Levites. But that wasn't enough. Because when it comes to black people, nothing is ever enough. All these people do is complain. That's why the Lord said these people are unholy and unthankful. Wasn't thankful at all that the Lord separated them from the rest of the congregation of Israel. To them, that was just a drop in the bucket. He separated us. We get the best of everything. So what? That ain't enough for me. I want more. Moses said, that's a small thing to you. Verse 10, and he have brought thee near to him, and all thy brethren, the sons of Levi, with thee, and seek ye the priesthood also. So that's also what they wanted. They wanted that priesthood. That's what they wanted. Korah, he basically wanted to be Moses, and the rest of them, they wanted the priesthood. They wanted what Aaron and his sons had. Because what the Lord gave them wasn't enough. Like me, for Israel's church, it's a great honor that I get to read every Sabbath day. Don't think I'm just sitting there reading and I'm like, oh, man, why I always gotta read, man? How come I don't get to teach here? How come I don't do none of that foolishness, brothers and sisters? Lord, it's a blessing to be able to read for you. Because I don't see it as I'm reading for Brother Reggie Sr., my pastor. I don't see it as that. I'm reading for the Lord. I'm seeing that I have a great opportunity to do work for the Lord. That's a big thing for me. And on top of that, I'm thankful I'm in good health to be able to even read on the Sabbath. Because there were some Sabbaths I couldn't even read. I was so darn sick. Couldn't even come to the Sabbath and read. I'm so darn sick. And so I'm very grateful. I'm very thankful that I can play my role, that I can play my part. And I tell the Lord that, thank you, Lord, for giving me this role to play. Because see, a lot of y'all, you think the roles that you play is insignificant. But no, it's a big deal. The Lord is happy. The Lord is smiling. This brother and sister doing work in my vineyard. They furthering my kingdom. Their works will be added to them. I'm going to count this as righteousness to them, that they believe in me and they're deciding to do some work for me. I'm going to count that the righteous. I'm going to count that as righteousness for them. But our people don't see it that way. Why? Unholy, unthankful. Nothing is ever good enough for these people. If I'm not running the show, I want to burn everything. Let it all burn. If I can't run it, we gonna burn this whole thing down. You got Israelites like that, envious sabotagers. But let's keep going. Verse 11. For which cause both thou and all thy company are gathered together against the Lord. And what is Aaron that ye murmur against him? So Moses just straight up used discernment. Listen, Korah, you here because you want my position, and the rest of them, Dathan, Abiram, and the rest of them 250 men that you raised up, which were probably Levites as well. Hey, they just want the priesthood. That's what you're after. Korah, you after my position, and the rest of y'all after Aaron's position and what God gave Aaron and his sons. But see how Moses, he didn't do nothing, because Moses ultimately, he gonna let the Lord handle it, because that wasn't Moses's job to handle that. Because the Lord said, Moses, I got you lead my people. I don't got you here to fuss with and fight with Israel. I'm going to handle that. And we're going to see that the Lord going to handle it too. He is sure enough going to handle that. So a lot of you brothers and sisters, we see what y'all be doing. Y'all think we be stupid. But the Lord didn't put us here to try to separate the wheat from the tare. He didn't put us here to do that. He put us here to teach his word of God, because a lot of y'all really think you got us fooled. Trust me. The Lord didn't put us in this position that we're in without any type of discernment. We got great discernment, and I want to let you know we see you. But it's not our job to go after your ass. We leave that to the Lord, and we doing what he tell us to do. Because again, he didn't put us here to strive with y'all. So we let you do what you do, because the day is going to come where the Lord is going to expose you to the whole congregation. You worried about us, but you better be worried about yourself, because the day coming, Lord going to expose you to everybody. So you keep doing what you're doing, Bucko and Buckam. Now, we're going to keep reading. Verse 12. Okay. Before I keep reading, let's go to Psalms 105, because I'm going to show you who the Lord was with. It tell us in Psalms. Even though we're going to find out. Psalms 105, we're going to read verse 26, and it says, he sent Moses, his servant, and Aaron, whom he had chosen. So he was with Moses and Aaron. Why? Because he chose them. I chose these two. I'm with them. And brothers and sisters, you can't get mad that the Lord decided to use certain men and certain women to a particular capacity. Hey, if he's using me to a greater capacity than another brother, all praises. If he's using another brother to a higher capacity than me, guess what? All praises. Because this is all about trying to build this kingdom, to forward the kingdom. I'm not worried about who the Lord using and why he using them to a certain capacity. How come I can't do this? I'm happy to play my role. I'm content to play my role. Holding the door is just as important as preaching. Now, you don't see it that way because man tell you that ain't nothing. But to the Lord, you holding that door is everything. It's everything to him. Just as hard as he looking at the preacher, he looking just as hard as that man and that woman that hold them doors open every day. He just looking. But we're going to keep reading, brothers and sisters. So now I'm going to read verse 12 through 15. And it says, and Moses sent to call Dathan and Abiram, the sons of Eliab, because he wanted to speak to them. But what happened? They said, we will not come up. So at this point in time, Dathan and Abiram are in full rebellion. They are totally against Moses and Aaron, to the point that when they were called up, they didn't even come. I'm not coming up. Weren't coming up at all. And how we don't know, the Lord told Moses to call them up, and guess what they said? We not coming up. We don't care what you say. That's that rebellious spirit in Israel. But on top of that, they got something worse than the rebellion. They got envy in their heart. And like I told you, envy ain't going to subside or go away until either the other person is destroyed or you're destroyed. That's how envy ends. It has always ended that way, until either you or the other person is destroyed. And we're going to see who's going to end up getting destroyed. Now, it says Moses tried to call them up, and they said, we will not come up. And they had some choice words for Moses. Said, is it a small thing? Basically, they mocking him. Because remember, the Lord, Moses had told them, is it a small thing that the Lord has, separated your tribe out of the congregation of Israel? Well, this is their comeback, basically. So they said, is it a small thing that thou hast brought us up out of a land that floweth with milk and honey to kill us in this wilderness? Look at this evil. Look at this evil junk they just said. Was it a light thing that thou brought us up out of the land that flowed milk and honey? So they're talking about the place of their slavery and their captivity. They compared it to it being a land that floweth with milk and honey. Egypt, the same place where that Pharaoh worked them like a dog, where the Pharaoh was actually killing them. See, because they said to kill us in this wilderness, but in Egypt, they was actually killing you. They actually took your sons that was born and threw them in the river. They were actually killing you. But you're saying that Moses, Aaron, the Lord, they're killing you here. Are you kidding me? I mean, Israel, I'm just telling you, their mindset is just bad. He said, but you brought us up out of the land that floweth with milk and honey to kill us in this wilderness, except thou make thyself altogether a prince over us. So they're accusing Moses of making himself they're accusing Moses of making himself a king over them. Makest thou a prince and a judge over us? And it's funny because the Bible says that same Moses the Lord made a prince and a judge over these people. So Moses did not do that. He did not exalt himself to that status. The Lord exalted Moses as being a prince over them, and they did not want to accept it. If I don't get to be the prince, the king, the head Negro in charge, then nobody else ain't gonna be that, because I'm gonna burn all of this down. If I can't have it my way, ain't nobody gonna have it my way. Gonna have it their way. Israel was the first one to come up with that. It's either my way or the highway. We was the first one to come up with that, because that's how these Negroes are. If I can't have it, nobody gonna have it, because I'm gonna burn everything down, tear everything up. And that's the way we think, brothers and sisters. That's a bad mindset to have. And why is Korah, Dathan, Abiram on doing Korah, Dathan, and Abiram doing this? They're doing this because of envy. Envy will have you blaspheming. Envy will have you moving mountains, doing crazy stuff that doesn't even make sense, defying reality. It'll have you doing stuff like calling the land of your slavery and your captivity the land that floweth with milk and honey. That's what envy will do to your dirty, corrupt mind. Verse 14. Moreover, thou hast not brought us into a land that floweth with milk and honey, because whose problem was that? That was your problem, because you were faithless. In fact, that's why y'all not going in there now. Because we read, what was that in chapter 14? How when the Lord said, hey, I want y'all 12 men that I assigned to go out and spy the land out and see if ye be able to take it. It was these same Hebrews didn't have no faith. So the Lord said, you ain't going up into the land. The Lord has brought us to kill us and to take our little ones. Lord said, you ain't going up in that land, man. So your own unbelief has done this to you. But they want to blame Moses and Aaron instead of blaming themselves for their unbelief. Your unbelief is the reason why you have not stepped into the land that floweth with milk and honey. God is not taking your bad behind in that land. He's not. Your own faith has held you back. And that will always be the thing that will hold Israel back. Even in 2024, it's still the thing that hold Israel back. No faith or belief in their God. It's a shame, man. It says, moreover, thou hast not brought us into the land that floweth with milk and honey, or given us inheritance of fields and vineyards. Will thou put out the eyes of these men? We will not come up. In other words, you got the rest of these Israelites food, but you ain't got me food. That's what he telling Moses. Essentially, that's what he telling God in his face. You got these other Israelites food. You got them blinded, but you ain't gonna fool me. You ain't got me blinded. My eyes open. I see past your antics. Meanwhile, nigga, you the problem. Your unbelief and your faithlessness, you're the problem. That behavior right there that you're exhibiting is the reason why we're not going in the land. Israel love to pretend like they're not the problem. They love to point at other people. You the problem, Moses. You the problem, Aaron. You the problem, Caleb. You the problem, Joshua. And the Lord looking at them like, nigga, you the problem. And you're the reason why you're about to fall right here in this wilderness. But let's keep going. And I get passionate, brothers and sisters. I don't play about this word. Okay? But we're going to keep reading verse 15. Now look at Moses' reaction. It says, and Moses was very wroth. He was, you know why he was wroth? Why he was angry? Because he could not stand that rebelliousness and that stubbornness. Israel is just bad. Said Moses was very wroth and said unto the Lord, respect not their offering. I have not taken one ass from them, neither have I hurt one of them. Because they're treating Moses like he was a criminal. They was treating Moses like he was some type of dictator, some type of tyrant, stealing from them and ruling over them with rigor. That's how they was treating him. You think they gave Pharaoh this kind of lip, this lip they giving Moses right now? Did they give did they give Pharaoh that same lip, that same trash they talking? Did they give that same rebellion against Pharaoh. They sure didn't. They shut the hell up and they took it. Pharaoh was bashing their damn head in. They didn't say anything. But somebody that's trying to help them, that's trying to take them to a better place, all of a sudden they got a big freaking mouth. All of a sudden they got tonsils that work. You can't make this up with these people, brothers and sisters. These black people are evil, and we need to say it. We don't want to admit it. We want to point at the heathen. We want to point at our dog, our cat. We will point at everybody but ourselves. We are an evil people. That's why we're at the bottom. That's why we got kicked out of our land. That's why nobody likes us, because of our bad behavior. We shoot each other and kill each other. I actually had seen a news story. A sister murdered another sister in a McDonald's. I think it happened in Atlanta over a damn uh order at McDonald's. Because the girl that killed the other girl, she was arguing with the cashier because they got her order wrong, and the other black girl basically was trying to intercede and tell the other girl, hey, it's not that serious. They could just make you another burger. They can get your order. It's not that serious. The black girl, who 19 years old, pulled out her gun and blew the other girl away, point blank range, killed her instantly. Not a white man, white woman in sight, because y'all claim it's them. They wasn't even in sight. You pulled that trigger and murdered your sister. Why? Because you was full of hate. And I want to let a lot of y'all preachers know that refuse to tell Israel about the evil that they're doing. That blood is on your hands, you idiot. You want to believe that you're safe. Oh, I'm going to stay out of it. You believe that you sit up there in that pulpit and you can choose to believe that you're staying out of it all you want. That blood is on your hands, because God already told you the parable of the watchman. I'm going to play it safe. I'm not going to say nothing. I'm just going to let Israel do what it do. And all of that blood over all these centuries going to be on your hands. I ain't doing it. I'm going to tell these Negroes how evil they are. You can talk about Esau all you want, but it's not going to help you, brothers and sisters, because you just like your twin brother. Murder on your mind. That's all you think about. I got to kill this nigga. I got to kill anybody that look like me. That made no sense for that girl to murder her sister in cold blood over a McDonald's order. And it had nothing to do with the order, brothers and sisters. It wasn't that deep. This is McDonald's. It is not that deep. No, that was a murder of hatred. How dare this black thing that looked like me try to tell me to calm down, try to diffuse the situation. Man, boom, your black self. And I hope that girl rot in prison. Our people need to understand there are consequences to the things that you do. Now that makes me sad. That makes me upset. I'm not worried about no damn heathen. They're going to do what they do. God already said these people are enemies. Yeah, they're crafty. Yeah, they do things. God already said all that. Why are we surprised? No, you surprised because you love them. And so when they do what God said they would do to you, you surprised. No, what we witnessed, that was an act of hate, brothers and sisters. Do you hear me? That was an act of hate. Because the truth be told, these brothers and sisters hate each other. Right now, the Martin Luther King Jr. hypocritical parade going on. Bunch of black people that hate each other, all gathered up, acting like they're celebrating Martin Luther King. And I asked them a few questions. I guarantee you they don't know nothing about Martin Luther King and what he did outside of I have a dream. That's the only thing they know about him. And y'all know it's the truth. It's time for us to stand up, brothers and sisters, and tell these wicked black people about the evil they doing. But instead, I don't want to get involved. I'm just going to play it safe. I don't want to deal with all that. I'm going to let the Lord, I'm telling you, that blood is going to be on your hands. Because you letting fear rattle you. That fear got you rattled. So all of that blood through all of these centuries going to be on your hands. It wasn't just going to be on the Pharisees' hands and all that. No, it's going to be on your hands too. Because you walk in the way of the Pharisees. So guess what? All that blood of righteous Abel going to be on your hands too. They're not good. These Israelites are not going to come here to Israel's church and be comfortable. Sitting back. Oh, I know that's right. Yeah, tell it. No, ain't none of that over here. We want you over here sweating. We want you to have a rag because you know you're going to sweat so much with all this truth you finna be hearing. No, you come over here, you're going to be convicted of your evil deeds. That's why people, they don't want to come over here. That's why they like going to them other churches and stuff. Because they know they're not going to be told about their sins. I could be a woman and still act manly. Acting all out. Not being in a woman's place. I could be a man and be effeminate. See, I don't even want to go there, brothers and sisters, because I'll mess around and I'll be here all day. So we're going to keep going. Verse 16. And Moses said unto Korah, be thou and all thy company before the Lord, thou and they and Aaron tomorrow. Okay, so tomorrow I want all us to be before the Lord and take every man his censer. We in verse 17, and put incense in them and bring ye before the Lord every man his censer, 250 censers. Thou also and Aaron, each of you his censer. 18. And they took every man his censer and put fire in them and laid incense thereon and stood in the door of the tabernacle of the congregation with Moses and Aaron. And Korah gathered all the congregation against them unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And the glory of the Lord appeared unto all the congregation. Oh boy, this ain't finna end well. I'll tell you that for sure. Get another swig of water. Because remember, Moses told him, hey, we're going to see whether the Lord is with you or with me. And that's what's going on right now. Verse 20. And the Lord spake unto Moses and unto Aaron, saying, separate yourselves from among this congregation, that I may consume them in a moment. And they fell upon their faces and said, O God, the God of the spirits of all flesh, shall one man sin, and wilt thou be wroth with the whole, will thou be wroth with all the congregation of Israel? Shall one man sin, and wilt thou be wroth with all the congregation? So we actually seen the Lord had a totally different outlook. He wasn't even worried about Korah and all them. He said, Moses, Aaron, hey, get out the way. Because not only am I going to get Korah, Dathan, Abiram, and the 250 princes, he said, oh no, He said, I'm going to get them In the rest of the entire tribes of Israel, I'm getting everybody except y'all two. That's how furious the Lord was. You know why he said that? Because, see, only Korah, Dathan, Abiram, and the 250 princes, they were the only ones that had the nuts to rebel against God and to rebel against Moses and Aaron. They're the only one that had the nuts to do it. But you better believe it was in the hearts of them other Israelites to do it as well. But they didn't have the boldness. They didn't have the courage to do it. In other words, it was in their heart. But they weren't stupid enough to act on it like Korah, Dathan, Abiram, and the 250 princes. But nevertheless, it's in your heart. So it's like you doing it too. So the Lord say, hey, Moses and Aaron, get aside. Because I'm finna get all 12 tribes. I'm going to get them all. Because remember, he only need one anyway to survive. And he's still keeping the promise to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So he knew the heart of these other Israelites. So don't think we stupid over here either at Israel's church. Because you'll have a brother and sister to rise up against us, which we don't give a damn because we let the Lord handle it. But they'll rise up and they'll start going off you and you mother. And I can't stand. Y'all think y'all so, you doing all of that. And then you'll have a brother and sister who will come under the comment section of that individual and be like, yeah, that's right. Amen, sister. Amen, brother. In other words, I agree with what you're saying about Israel's church because I can't stand them either. But see, we don't be worried about them. We looking at them ones that don't put the comment, but yet they agree. But they not bold enough to agree with the person that's going off. See, y'all think we stupid, but we not. We just let the Lord handle these matters because he didn't put us here to deal with that, to separate the wheat from the tare. He said, you let me deal with that. You just keep teaching. See, Israel think they're crafty. But see, God gave us incredible discernment. The men and women that God choose, they have incredible discernment. Trust me. I know this. You can't get over on them. So God is discerning the hearts of everybody. He know who doing what, who agree with what. He constantly discerning all your hearts. He constantly looking. All day looking. But see, you think you fooling us. You thinking you fooling the other righteous brothers and sisters, but the Lord just looking all day. Looking. Look at his wicked behind. He don't think I see him right there. Boy, the Lord don't play. And so, brothers and sisters, I'm telling you this. Because when this drama break out that the Lord got for Israel, you're going to be in some serious trouble. When this evil break forth, when God released these heathen on these Israelites, he going to have your number. He going to remember all y'all that have done evil, who have spoke against him in his mind. He going to remember it all. And he going to bring the evil and put it right on you. God ain't stupid. The Lord even said, because I don't say nothing, y'all thought I was altogether one such as yourself. Y'all thought, in other words, y'all thought I was stupid. Like I didn't see what y'all was saying and thinking up here. No, I see everything. But I was just waiting, seeing if you was going to repent, seeing if you was going to have a change of heart. But since you won't, you're marked. I'm going to get your behind. But we're going to keep going. So the Lord intended to get all the children of it, all 12 tribes. He was going to get every last one of them. He said, Moses, you think it's small. Korah, Dathan, 250 princes. He said, you think it's too small. I'm getting all of them. Man, Moses and Aaron, they fell on their face. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the congregation, because basically they interceded. So the Lord said, okay, speaking to the congregation, saying, get you up from about the tabernacle of Korah, Dathan, and Abiram. And Moses rose up and went unto Dathan and Abiram. And the elders of Israel followed him. And he spake unto the congregation, saying, depart, I pray you, from the tents of these wicked men. So they said, so remember earlier, according to my, they holy and all that. But look, they was declared what? Wicked men, and touch nothing of theirs. So these brothers and sisters, you know that they're evil. You know that they don't have good intentions. Don't you follow them. Don't you agree with them. Because that's the same thing as touching. Don't do that, or the Lord gonna get you too. When the time of judgment come, he gonna get you too. Stay away from these brothers and sisters, lest you be consumed in all their sins. So you can agree with them all you want, pat them on the back, secret conversation, all that. The Lord telling you, when I get they behind, I'm gonna get you too. The Lord don't play, man. When you see a brother and sister is wicked, get away from them. You see that their heart is turned from the Lord. The Lord say, hey, don't you have nothing to do with them. You better make sure you separate yourself from them. Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? That was my boy. Oh, you know what I'm saying? That was my girl, man. You know, he or she used to make me laugh. Lord, I don't give a damn what they used to do. They wicked. They not turned from their heart from me. Hey, you better separate yourself. Verse 27. So they got up from the tabernacle of Korah, Dathan, and Abiram on every side. And Dathan and Abiram came out and stood in the door of their tents, and their wives, and their sons, and their little children. And Moses said, hereby ye shall know that the Lord hath sent me to do all these works, because Israel didn't believe. It's you, Moses, you doing it. He said, hereby ye shall know that the Lord hath sent me to do all these works, for I have not done them of my own mind. Because see, they accused Moses of that. This nigga think he's special. He raised himself up as a prince over us. He decided to take us up out of Egypt. They ain't see the Lord in none of this. But Moses said, hey, after this, you gonna see that none of this stuff was my doing. It was the Lord. The Lord raised us up. We keep telling y'all, brothers and sisters, listen, we didn't just get up one day and decided, oh, we want to get up and teach the people. Lord said, get your behind up. And I want you to teach. And this is what we doing, brothers and sisters. We up teaching just as he commanded us, because we fear the Lord. We don't want none of that punishment that he got for disobedient Israelites. So guess what? We got up and we teaching. Because if it wasn't for this camera wouldn't be on. I wouldn't be doing none of this stuff. I'll be keeping the Sabbath on my own, studying on my own, and saving myself. And it's the truth, brothers and sisters. But gotta be obedient. 29. If these men die, the common death of all men, or if they be visited after the visitation of all men, then the Lord have not sent me. But if the Lord make a new thing, and the Lord open her mouth and swallow them up with all that appertain unto them, and they go down quick into the pit, then ye shall understand that these men, and I want you to look at this carefully, ye shall understand that these men have provoked the Lord. Because a lot of brothers and sisters, they think that they're going against you, not knowing that you are really sent. So they think I'm going against this man. It's this man I don't like. I can't stand. It's this guy. It's this woman. She get on my nerves, man. But they don't realize they actually going against the Lord, because that man or woman, they're up because of the Most High. See? And unfortunately, when the judgment come, they're going to figure it out, but it's going to be too late, because that's our people. When we're given the space to repent and return to the Lord, they won't do it. They too full of pride. That's that pride the Lord was talking about. They won't repent. Israel gonna go to the end. Verse 31, and it came to pass, as he, to my Moses, made an end of speaking all these words, that the ground clave asunder, that was under them a massive sinkhole, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed them up in their houses, and all the men that appertain unto Korah, and all their goods. They and all that appertained to them went down alive into the pit. So they went in the earth, buried alive. And the earth closed upon them, and they perished from among the congregation, because they was full of envy and they was rebellious. And the number one thing, they did not believe God. They didn't believe in him. Didn't believe him at all. No faith. And unfortunately, Israel, some of them gonna go all the way. They gonna go into what? They perish from among the congregation. Some Israelites, brothers and sisters, unfortunately, they're going to perish. And there's nothing you could do. You can cry for them, pray for them. But some Israelites, they're going to be stubborn until the end. And it's just the way it is. They're going to be stubborn to the bitter end. 34, and all Israel that were round about them fled at the cry of them, for they said, lest the earth swallow us up also. And they were right, because they was just as evil as Korah and them was. Again, Korah and them just had the nuts to act on the rebellion, but the other ones just kept it in their heart. So yeah, they did the right thing by running, lest the Lord got they behind too. 35, and there came out a fire from the Lord and consumed the 250 men that offer incense. Because see, Korah, Dathan, Abiram, their servants, their goods and stuff, see, that was all swallowed up. They were all swallowed up in the pit. But the 250 men that was rolling with them, who was on their side, it said a fire came from the Lord and consumed 250 men that had offered incense. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto Eleazar the son of Aaron the priest, that he take up the censers out of the burning, and scatter thou the fire yonder, for they are hollow. So the Lord made shish kebabs out of them Israelites, burnt to a crisp, nothing but ashes left. That, I mean, I'm telling you, Israel to the bitter end. To the bitter, they're going to be stubborn and rebellious to the bitter end. Like all of this word going forth to these brothers and sisters in the church, out of the church, they refuse to listen. And they're not going to listen until the Lord raise these heathen up and beat them down. They want to wait till they get to the very end. Then all of a sudden they gonna want to listen. And what was that thing he was trying to tell me? But it's got to get bad first, because that's the only thing that these people understand. Verse 38, it says, the censors of these sinners against their own souls, let them make them broad plates for a covering of the altar, for they offered them before the Lord, therefore they are hollow. And they shall be a sign unto the children of Israel. Yeah, that you don't rebel. 39. And Eleazar the priest took the brazen censers wherewith they that were burnt had offered, and they were made broad plates for a covering of the altar, to be a memorial unto the children of Israel, that no stranger, which is not of the seed of Aaron, come near to offer incense before the Lord. Okay, so that could also be a stranger. Y'all see that? A stranger could also be one of the children of Israel who were not of the seed of Aaron. Okay, they were considered, any Israelite that was not of the seed of Aaron was considered a stranger. Okay, whenever it came time of offering incense and coming near to the Lord, it says that he be not as Korah and as his company, as the Lord said to him by the hand of Moses. But on the morrow, all the congregation of the children of Israel murmured against Moses and Aaron. Oh, Israel, I'm telling y'all, they don't stop. Now you see why the Lord wanted to consume them too. But we're going to see. Hold on. Look at this foolishness the children of Israel about to say the 12 tribes. It says, on the morrow, all the congregation of the children of Israel murmured, meaning they complained against Moses and Aaron, saying, you have killed the people of the Lord. 42. And it came to pass, when the congregation was gathered against Moses and Aaron, they looked toward the tabernacle of the congregation. And behold, the cloud covered it, and the glory of the Lord appeared. And Moses and Aaron came before the tabernacle of the congregation. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, get you up from among this congregation, that I may consume them as in a moment. Didn't I tell you these Israelites? Didn't I tell y'all it was in their mind? Didn't I tell you it was in their mind? They didn't have the balls like Korah and Dathan and Abiram and them 250 princes to act on the rebellion. But it was in their mind based off of what we had read. They had complained, saying, you have killed the people of the Lord. I told y'all it was in their mind. They just didn't have the courage to act on it. That's why the Lord said previously, I'm not finna just get Korah, Dathan, Abiram, 250 princes. He said, I'm finna get all of them. I'm gonna get all the congregation, because he knew Korah and them just simply had the balls to act on it. But nevertheless, it was in the mind of the other people too. They hated Moses and Aaron and the Lord. They hated them. So the Lord was finna get them again. He said, get from among this congregation, that I may consume them as in a moment. And they fell upon their faces. Look at that love, man. Moses and Aaron, they still want to intercede for Israel. As bad as they are, they still showing love. Because anybody else, I'm going to keep it a buck, would have gave up on Israel. But look at Moses and Aaron. They still want to, they still feel sorry for the children of Israel, that they act the way they act. 46. And Moses said unto Aaron, take a censer. This time, see, look, now he finna intercede, but this time, the Lord wasn't hearing nothing Moses had to say, none of that stuff. Watch what happened. Moses said to Aaron, take a censer and put fire therefore in it from off the altar, and put on incense, and go quickly unto the congregation and make an atonement for them. Why? This time they didn't even have time to think, because what was already happening. for the wrath is gone out from the Lord. So while they were talking, they didn't even have time to think what was already happening. The plague is began. It started to, this plague right here, I don't think we understand. This was meant to take out all 12 tribes, just leaving Moses, Aaron, and possibly Caleb and Joshua. But it had already begun. It started taking them out, brothers and sisters. Brother, the children of Israel, they were dropping like flies. Just, boom, one by one, they just start dropping. They was getting took out instantly. It says, and Aaron took as Moses commanded and ran. He had to run because it had already begun to purge. And the Lord was talking about purge. That's what was going on. The purging had already begun. So Aaron ran into the midst of the congregation with that censer, and behold, the plague was begun among the people, and he put on incense and made an atonement for the people. Woo-wee. And he stood between the dead and the living, and the plague was stayed. While Moses and Aaron fell on them faces and feeling sorry for the children of Israel, getting ready to intercede, the plague had already begun. It just started killing them, dropping them. Because the Lord was tired of talking. I'm finna start dropping them. And unfortunately, with the children of Israel, that's what's getting ready to happen, brothers and sisters, because our people don't listen. They too full of chicken, too full of sunken soda. Got these 2023, 24 cars, 2-story houses, air conditioning blowing on them. They don't want to hear the Lord, man. Israel too comfortable. These churches making all type of money off the people. They not trying to hear this word, man. And these are people that say they love God and they read his word. They don't even want to hear from him. So guess what? In the process of time, the plague is going to begin because our people don't listen, man. They don't listen. So we see that Aaron had made an atonement for the congregation and the plague was stayed. 49. Now they that died in the plague were 14,700, beside them that died about the matter of Korah. It wasn't even that long. Aaron was just had the putting the fire on it, and already 14,700 had died. And that was beside them that died about the matter of Korah. That show you, man, the Lord don't play about that rebellion and that stiff neck and that hard-heartedness. 50, last verse. And Aaron returned unto Moses unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and the plague was stayed. And I hope you guys got some understanding, and I will see you in the next lesson. Shalom.